Hello, Starshine. My name is Liz, and this is my channel, Simsational Stories. If you have not seen my videos before, and you enjoy this one, please like and subscribe, and maybe check out my other social media as well. I'm on both Facebook and Twitter. All relevant links are in the description below, and of course, if you're a Sims player and you'd like to download any of my characters, just search the hashtag Simsational Stories on the Sims 4 gallery. All original content is created by This Is Not Eric. Finally, before I begin my Simsational story, I'd like to issue this blanket content and trigger warning. The following story is just Sims, hey. I'm not going to apologise for treating them terribly, if that's what I've done. But I do want to assure you now that although I mean absolutely no harm, I completely understand if you feel unable to consume my content. Many loves, and we will catch each other on the internet elsewhere. Okay, so now we've gotten that over with. Let's go. Today's story is from Sunflower's story, and we're at chapter 7. If you have not seen previous chapters and would like to catch up, there are playlists available on my channel so you can hear the entire story in chronological order. The rest of us are going to move on from where we left off last time though. So without further ado. Teenage runaway Sunflower Andrews has just moved in with the Spurlocks, a family of spellcasters from Glimmerbrook. The Spurlocks, consisting of matriarch Eleanor, her daughter Esmeralda, and her husband Quinton, as well as their teenage daughter Caitlin, were all members of an ancient magical bloodline. Grandmother Eleanor Spurlock was born into a powerful family in Glimmerbrook and had, throughout her life, become seen to be a pillar of the local magical community. She had even started a club called Magi for her friends and family to be a part of. They met regularly at the family home to practice potions and spellcasting. Eleanor also made passing her skills and knowledge onto her family a strong priority. Esmeralda, Quinton and Caitlin were senior members of the Magi Club and were also all skilled spellcasters and potion makers. Even teenage Caitlin was unusually magically talented thanks to the bloodline of her ancestors. That's not to say that it was easy for her. Caitlin's grandmother Eleanor had insisted on private one-on-one lessons her whole life, considering it her responsibility to hone her granddaughter almost as an extension of herself. Caitlin had never been allowed to be ordinary, only extraordinary. It was a lot of pressure for one girl to be under. Sunflower understood being put under that kind of pressure from your family. It was one of the reasons she had run away from her own home. But she'd never seen anyone react to it the way Caitlin seemed to. It was nothing like how she had been when her parents had pressured her. Instead of crumbling like she would, her friend seemed to be thriving. Sunflower had never met anyone like Caitlin. She was just as emotionally erratic as Sunflower was, and yet somehow so much more secure and confident in herself. It was inspiring. She was a wonder. And when one day Sunflower suddenly decided to say so, the quiet pause at the end of her sudden speech seemed to last forever. Caitlin certainly was frozen for a moment. She hadn't been prepared for this. She was inspiring to Sunflower. Sunflower, who had been through so much. The very idea was flattering, and she felt some small fluttering in her stomach as she stared back at this wild, lavender-eyed, crazy girl who called her wonderful. Could this be it? Finally? Caitlin had always known she was gay, and she had thought Sunflower beautiful from the start. The slender young wayward waif had been unknowingly tugging at Caitlin's heartstrings for quite some time, and in this second, she too lost all control of herself impulsively throwing away her normal inhibitions to grab at Sunflower's hips and bring her close for a passionate kiss. Within seconds, Sunflower's arms were wrapping around Caitlin as well, and the two were writhing and swiving like the very teenagers they were. Sunflower had never kissed a girl before, never even thought about kissing a girl, and boy howdy had she not known what she was missing. She closed her eyes to her thoughts and just let go to experience the moment. It had been nothing like she'd ever imagined. Not that she'd ever really imagined herself kissing girls before. She'd only ever really been with boys before now. Sunflower wasn't sure what was going on or who she was anymore. Everything was so confusing. Looking at herself in the mirror, she didn't even know who she was anymore. Sunflower had grown up as Megan in the suburbs of Willow Creek with snobbish rich parents John and Karen, who would both utterly abhor who she was now. And although she had always known that there was something different about her, the voices, sudden mood swings, and inherent quirkiness had always been a part of her. Of all the labels she thought she might take on one day, she'd never expected one to be this. Once again, Sunflower didn't know what to do. Moving into the Spurlock household had felt so right just a few scant weeks ago. But that was before she and Caitlin had kissed. What did this mean for them? For her? What if everything was ruined now? She finally decided to just be honest and text all her crazy, endless worries and fears to her new friend and possible lover. Caitlin raised her eyebrows when she saw Sunflower's long text. They hadn't talked much since the day before when they'd finished kissing and Sunflower had suddenly run off. And so this long, rambling text was kind of unexpected. There was a lot there to process, and Caitlin had to focus on class at the time. She didn't want to leave Sunflower hanging, but honestly, what else could she do? She was busy after school that day, and Sunflower knew it. Caitlin was still in Scouts and also worked part-time as a video game streamer. She just didn't have time for this today. But she really didn't want to leave Sunflower thinking she'd been ghosted either. She was obviously freaking the freak out. Could they maybe talk tomorrow night and just not let things get too crazy in the meantime? Don't get too crazy. Ha! Sunflower had heard that before. It was too late. She was naturally crazy, and this waiting period was terrible for her. Excruciating. A million different thoughts, scenarios, and ideas ran through Sunflower's mind in the hours between receiving that text, and she changed her mind 17 different times as to what she even wanted to have happen. Oh, maybe she didn't even want anything to happen at all. At least, that was what she thought until she had run into Caitlin again that evening and locked eyes with her. Whoa, she thought to herself. Maybe she could wait for the right moment, as Katie had said, and just give it a chance. Something about Caitlin's beautiful purple eyes had caught her and calmed her, and yet excited her too. Sunflower still felt nervous and confused about herself and everything that was happening, but Caitlin somehow grounded her still. It was the same when they finally did get to talk. Sunflower had never been around anyone as equally affirming yet exciting as Caitlin. Normally people shied away from her when she was a nervous mad wreck. But Katie seemed fine with it. More than fine. She understood. Truly understood. And somehow that made all the difference in the world. Sure, this was new, scary, and a little bit unexpected. But wasn't that how it was meant to be? That first kiss had sure been something. This second kiss, though, it was different, more on purpose, and thus purposeful. Instead of fast, heated, passionate, swiving and writhing, they came together gently now, staring into each other's eyes until their lips met once more with intent as well as impulse. Sunflower felt butterflies in her tummy and swore her heart skipped a beat. Could this be it? And that brings us to the end of Chapter 7 of Sunflower's story. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe so you can tune in soon to hear the next chapter. And hey, maybe think about sharing my channel with a friend. Or don't. It's your life. Anyway, bye.